Hello, thank you for joining me for class today. My name's Jordan. Today's class is a 25-minute restorative yoga. So we'll begin this class on our backs. I have a pillow for underneath my head and off to the side that we'll use later on. I have a rolled up blanket. Of course, you could use a yoga blanket if you have one. This is actually a beach towel that I have, so I don't even have a blanket. I just have a beach towel and 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could use books that are, equal in size, or pots and pans if those are equal in size. But those are the props that we'll need for class today. Once you're on your back, allow your knees to bend, feet flat, and walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat so that your knees knock in towards one another. You could have your arms down by your sides, or if it's comfortable for you, you could place one hand on the belly and one hand on your heart space. Once you're lying down, just begin to practice some body awareness. Feel the soles of the feet on the mat, feel the back of your body, the back of the arms, the back side, the back of the head on your pillow. Just establish the points of the body that are touching either the ground or a prop to establish some grounding. Relax the muscles in the face, unclench the teeth, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Let your belly inhale and exhale freely without restriction, so really be soft in your belly. And anywhere else that you feel tension, invite these areas to soften. Our quote today comes from Dana Falds. I heard it on Tara Brock's podcast, and I highly recommend Tara Brock's podcasts. They're very, very great to listen to. But Dana Falds' quote today says, "Sometimes my meditation cushion is more wrestling mat than oasis. It's embarrassing how often I release the same distracted thoughts. Again and again, I bring myself to the moment as it is. Not good, not bad, not even neutral. Just life unfolding with me in it. Just here and now reality. Just this, just this, just this." Start to bring some movement back into your body. Pick up the feet, hug your knees to your chest if you want to move side to side. Circle out the ankles, maybe make circles with the knees. Just do whatever feels good here to start to bring some movement back into the body. Watching your smooth inhales and exhales. And then the next pose that we're going to do here is going to be crocodile pose. So it's a prone pose, meaning that you're lying on your belly. So whenever you're ready, grab behind your thighs, tuck your chin into your chest, and slowly roll up. You could also roll off onto your side and press yourself up. I'm going to grab that towel and I'm going to place it at the bottom of my mat. And when I lie down on my belly, that blanket or towel is going to go kind of at the tops of my ankles. The pillow will be put off to the side. And then slowly, as you're ready to, lying down on your belly. So the blanket is there to add just a little bit of lift for the legs. My towel was a little too high, so I scooted it back. So again, it's kind of at the tops of your ankles is where it should be resting. And then bend your elbows and let your head rest on your hands. You could see if you're not finding comfort with the head rested on the hands, you could maybe turn the head to one side, but just know this is only a 25-minute restorative video, so we're not going to be in these poses too long, no longer than 3 minutes each. So if you turn your head to one side, just be mindful. If you turn it to one side throughout this pose, maybe make sure to turn it to the other side so you don't get a pain in your neck or anything. But here we are, crocodile pose, lying flat on your belly. The legs are long. If it's comfortable for you, we have that. Again, the towel that's under the ankles. If it would be better for you to bend the knees, you could just bend your knees here. But just let the back of the body sink into the front of the body. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. And again, the face and jaw are soft and relaxed. Notice any points of tension where you're gripping, clinging. Where could you release a little bit more? And then again, go back to your breath awareness. Notice the inhales and the exhales. Try to even out your inhales and exhales so that your inhale is just as deep as your exhale. Inhale is just as long as your exhale, and vice versa. And so just as our quote from Dana Faulds says, it's embarrassing how often I release the same distracted thoughts again and again. I bring myself to the back to the moment as it is. You'll probably find that in a restorative yoga practice. The mind wanders. The body is not doing much, but the mind will then take that opportunity to just run away with all of the thoughts and distractions. The practice of noticing when you've drifted off into thought, and each and every time releasing those thoughts, bringing yourself back to the moment as it is. Again, notice if tension has crept up in the body anywhere. Soften those areas. Slowly begin to reawaken the body. Deepen your breathing, circle the ankles, wiggle your toes. Whenever you're ready, bend your knees and then windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Just let both knees fall to one side and then the other to gently bring some movement back into the body. And then when you're ready to, re-extend the legs, bend your elbows, place your hands under your shoulders, press your hips up and back. You'll probably find it more comfortable if you move that towel at the bottom of the mat. For a moment, we'll find a child's pose. Send the hips back towards the heels, forehead towards the ground. Your hips might not touch your heels, that's fine. Your forehead might not touch the mat, and that's also fine. Feel the length of the spine here. Feel the pressure of the inner thighs as you inhale, the belly expands, the navel draw towards the spine as you exhale. And then slowly walk your hands towards you, lift the torso, swing the legs around. We're gonna come on to our bottoms, onto the seats, but grab your blocks. We'll be twisting next. So we're gonna twist on our back. So with the towel that I have, I'm gonna fold it in half. If you have a thicker towel, you might not need to. And I'm going to place that in between my knees. I'm going to grab that pillow once again for underneath my head. And I have the blocks handy, so I can grab them once I'm down on my back. Slowly, one vertebra at a time, lower down onto your back. And then once you're there, walk the feet a little closer, press into the feet, lift your hips, and shift the hips to the left slightly, to the left side of the mat. Grab your block, one or both of them, and then let your knees fall to the right side of your mat. So you can place the block underneath of your knees to kind of catch them wherever they might fall. And you could, if you don't have a blanket handy, you didn't grab one, that's fine. You can place a block, your other block, in between your knees. But I just find having some space there, or having something to kind of fill the gap between my knees, offers a little bit more comfort than if I were to just have knees touching. And make any adjustments that you need to here. Open the arms out wide, tee the arms out. You only want to twist as far as your left shoulder can stay on the ground. You want both of your shoulder blades planted on your mat here. You can keep your gaze straight up. You could turn the head to look over your left shoulder. And then we'll be here on this side of the twist for a few more moments. Again, go back to your breath awareness. Notice the inhales and the exhales. Releasing distracted thoughts again and again, bringing yourself back to the moment as it is. The second part of her quote, not good, not bad, not even neutral, just life unfolding with me in it. Is there something that you're wanting to change right now, or wish that there was something were different about what's happening right now in the body or your external circumstances, a noise from a neighbor or anything that you're wishing wasn't there? Could you release that? Not to say that it's accepting life or being okay with things that you feel are not great. It's not avoiding life and the difficulties, but life unfolding with you in it. Again, notice if tension has crept up anywhere in the body, the shoulders, the face, the jaw. Notice the feet. Start to deepen your breathing, awareness back into your body. When you're ready to slowly, on an inhale, bring your knees back to center. Plant the feet, pick the hips up, shift them to the right side of your mat. And then we'll now let the knees fall to the left side. Placing a block underneath your knees, having the blanket between your knees. Open the arms. You can keep the gaze up, or you can turn the head to look over your right shoulder. As you're ready, begin to wiggle your fingers, Bring some awareness back into your body. Deepen your breathing, and on your next inhale, bring your knees back to center. Go ahead and remove the towel if it was in between your knees. Place that off to the side. Once again, pick the feet up, hug your knees into your chest. If you want to add movement here, go right ahead. Rock side to side. Circle the knees, circle your ankles, whatever feels nice. We're going to stay on our back for this next pose. But we're going to actually stay on our back for the next two poses so that we can easily transition from gentle inversion to Shavasana. I'm going to grab that towel and once again fold it up and place that somewhere on the mat that's going to land about right under my knees whenever I lie back. You might have to adjust it, and that's fine, but grab your block, one of them, whenever you are ready to lower back down, slowly keeping the chin tucked into your chest. Walk your feet a little bit closer, and then on your inhale, slowly press into your feet, lift your hips, and slide the block on its lowest setting right underneath your tailbone. And then let your hips settle back down onto the block. And then have the arms down by your sides. And here we are in gentle bridge pose, restorative bridge pose, one of my favorite poses. Make any adjustments that you need to. Ideally, if you have a block, it shouldn't cause too much discomfort. Cork blocks, maybe. Those cork blocks can be kind of unforgiving in restorative yoga. So if that's the case, maybe you grab like a light pillow or a thin pillow to place over your block. Or if you were using a book or pots and pans, those also not that forgiving. So add a layer of comfort to make sure that you're not, having anything digging into your back, because that won't feel very nice. So you could keep your feet on the ground. If you wanted to, you could pick the legs up and send the feet up towards the ceiling for a variation of legs up the wall pose. I do this pose a lot in my gentle classes, just because the benefits of reversing the effects of gravity on the body are so great. There's kind of a sweet spot if you're using a block to position here. If you're finding you really shouldn't take much effort to have the legs lifted if you're choosing to lift the legs. If you're finding it kind of takes a lot of effort to keep the legs up, try moving the block closer towards your head, so up the back. See if that does anything for you. And if it doesn't, just feel free to return the feet or knees, feel free to rebend your knees and place the feet back on the ground. Again, the arms are out to the sides, shoulders are relaxed away from your ears, unclench the teeth, release the tongue from the roof of your mouth, soften all of the muscles in your face. Watch your inhales and your exhales. Still maintaining a longer and deeper breath that you would normally have as you're just moving through your day. Inhales that are a little longer and a little deeper than what they would normally be. Releasing the distracting thoughts, accepting the moment as it is, not trying to change anything about the moment. If your legs were extended up towards the ceiling, slowly begin to rebend them, return your feet back to the ground, and just settle here for a moment, a few more moments. Whenever you're ready to, slowly press into your feet, lift your hips, remove the block from underneath of you. Blocks, done with the blocks, you can push those off to the side, but one more time, hug the knees into your chest. And then whenever you're ready, Shavasana, final resting pose. So my blanket was a little too low, it was kind of under my calves, so I'm going to scoot it up. Blanket rests nicely under your knees, pillow for under your head. Legs are long if that's comfortable, but you could also do that opening position that we did, having the knees bent, feet flat, let your knees knock in towards one another. Find the spine a little more neutral. I'm going to read the full quote from Dana Faulds one more time as you relax into your final resting pose. Sometimes my meditation cushion is more wrestling mat than oasis. It's embarrassing how often I release the same distracted thoughts again and again. I bring myself back to the moment as it is. Not good, not bad, not even neutral, just life unfolding with me in it. Just here and now reality. Just this, just this, just this. Allow your breath to deepen. Begin to make movements, wiggling your fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles, moving the arms and legs however feels nice to reawaken. When you're ready to move out of your Shavasana, bend your knees, roll off onto your side, pause a moment in the fetal position, and I invite you to think of one thing to be grateful for here as you lie on your side. When you're ready to close class, slowly come to a seated position and just pause a moment there. Notice how you feel now compared to the start of class. I invite you to join the palms in front of the hearts. And just honor your practice today. Thank yourself for practicing today. Bring the hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. Bring the hands to the heart to remind us to have clear and loving intentions. Hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications. And join me as we send positive energy to all beings everywhere. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. I just want to quickly announce I'm leading a yoga retreat in Umbria, Italy from July 29th to August 4th, 2023. I'll have a link for more information in the video description. Thank you again so much for joining me today. Have a great day. Namaste.